Hello. Today I'd like to discuss websites. Every company has a website. Um, Users have websites. People have blogs. There's websites everywhere, websites for everything. Um, More importantly is keeping your website secure, or at least keeping your users that are your clients, your customers using your website, keeping them secure as well. Any information going back and forth between them. And then also when you're out browsing, other people's websites, what should you be looking for? So today we're going to discuss SSLs. So what is and why it makes your website more secure? What is an SSL and why does it make your website more secure? An SSL is the standard security technology for establishing an encrypted link between a web server and a browser. This link ensures that all data passed between the web server and the browser remain private. So if we want to break that down a little bit, when you land on a website page that has a form, after that form is filled in and you hit submit, the information you just entered can be intercepted by a hacker on an unsecure website. This information can be anything from details of a bank transaction to high-level information you enter to register for an offer, personal information, your address. You could be putting passwords in there. In hacker lingo, this interception is often referred to as a man-in-the-middle attack. The attack can happen a whole bunch of different ways, but one of the most common ways is a hacker will put a small undetected listening program on the server that's hosting the website. So the website, the host server that's hosting the website has been compromised. That program waits in the background until a visitor starts typing information on the website, and then it will activate to start capturing this information and then send it back to the hacker. However, when you visit a website that's encrypted with SSL, your browser will form a connection with the web server. It'll look at the SSL certificate and then bind together your browser and the server. The binding connection is secure so that no one besides you and the website that you're submitting the information to can see or access what you type in the browser. There are different browsers and different ways that this information is kind of shown. But Google, who has about 50% of the market share with their Chrome browser, recently released a new version of Chrome that will indicate when a page is not secure if it contains a form but does not have an SSL. Microsoft will most likely be doing something similar with their Microsoft Edge and Internet Explorer. According to some industry reports, 85% of people that land on a website that says it's not secure or see a search result inside when they're looking something up on Google and it says it's not secure, they won't even go there. So if your website contains a form, even if it's just asking for someone's email address to sign up for a newsletter, something simple as that, you should enable SSL. Is SSL good for search engine optimization? Yes, Google now uses SSL as part of its search ranking algorithm. They publicly have recently stated that if two websites that otherwise would be equal in search results, if one's got an SSL and the other one doesn't, the one with the SSL is going to rank higher than the other. So how can you tell if your website has an SSL? Open up a browser, type in your website name, and in the URL that goes across the top, the address bar that goes across the top, you can look to see if it says HTTPS. If it has the S there, that means it's secure. If it just has HTTP, it's not. You'll also see a little padlock. Now again, the example I have here is inside Chrome. You can see what the padlock looks there. It's very similar in Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge. As well, even on your mobile devices, you'll see a padlock of some sort somewhere, or it might even just say secure. If it's not, it'll say unsecure, or it'll have a padlock with a line through it. Now, a website can have an SSL and still not be secure. SSLs are purchased and they have expiration dates. They're usually good for 1 year. You can get them up to 2 and 3 years. But if a website has an SSL and it happens to expire, then that information going back and forth is no longer encrypted. You'd see a warning when you browse that site. People can also misconfigure the SSL on their website. So for instance, if I was to purchase an SSL for tmgit.com, which conveniently stands for the Miller Group IT.com, and we put that on my web server that hosts the millergroup.com, that would not be valid. The SSLs are configured for what's called fully qualified domain names. So the SSLs, when you purchase one, it's good for the name itself. In this case, www.themillergroup.com. You can get different types of SSLs. For instance, a wildcard SSL would be good for anything that would be before themillergroup.com. So test.themillergroup.com, store.themillergroup.com. A wildcard certificate would take care of all those. So how do you get an SSL for your website? Well, there's a lot of SSLs, unfortunately. Or fortunately, but there's some choices you do have to make. For instance, in my previous example of having that wildcard certificate, those are pricier, but there's times where that's needed. You may be in a banking or a financial type industry where they require a certain level of an SSL. The different SSLs come with different backings. They'll protect you up to with some guarantees and financial. So if you get hit, they'll guarantee it up to $250,000 worth of damage. There's other ones that are a little bit higher than that. And then length of validation. So websites, like I said earlier, are good for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And who could you get an SSL from? You have to buy those through most registrars. And registrars are companies that sell you domain names and host domain names. But there's also some that just do this specifically, just the SSLs. But some of the big ones are GoDaddy, Komodo, Network Solutions. If you're not really for sure, though, find out from your web hosting company. They'll be able to talk you through that. And in all else fails, contact the Miller Group. We do website hosting, website design, and we can definitely secure you an SSL even if we're not hosting it for you. If you have any questions about SSLs, again, please go out to our website or give us a call at 314-822-8090.